Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and on this episode, as you can see, we've got a Volkswagen Beetle. But this Volkswagen Beetle was driven over a huge curb, and it has 2 oil pans that have been completely demolished. So we're gonna see if we can replace these oil pans today. Come along and let's see what happens. All right, here we are. Show you the pans. They're leaking. That's the right pan. You can see all the oil on the bottom of that just dripped when I jacked it up, so that's telling me that it's empty. So this one was bent pretty bad, and that'll definitely cause some interference. And honestly, this isn't the first time I've seen some oil pans get run over by a curb and been destroyed. Honestly, one time I had somebody who drove their car for 6 weeks after their oil pan was hit and leaked out all their oil. I don't know how they made it that long, but it was a Honda, if that tells you anything. Anyways, this person was smart enough to park their car immediately, so they haven't done any damage to the transmission or the motor. Let's get these transmission and motor oil pans swapped out, and it should be good to go. This video is sponsored by 𝕗𝖊𝖓. I've got a 𝕗𝖊𝖓 ladder rack for my truck here, and you can see their logo right there, Tough Tools, half price. It's really true. So I'm gonna put this on my truck. All right, here are all the pieces outside of the box. It even comes with the little tools you're gonna need. So let me put this together and show it to you. Let's see how sturdy it is. So this ladder rack was actually super easy to put together. The instructions were pretty clear, and it comes with the perfect number of everything you're gonna need. Nothing that's confusing. Everything obviously goes in its own spot, and it has the tools that you need. So after about an hour, I was able to get this put together, and now let's strap it to the truck. It comes with some super nice heavy-duty aluminum clips to hold it to the truck bed, and the frame itself is lightweight in aluminum, but very strong. Oh yeah, that's finished. Yeah, I could put a tent up here. There you go, looks nice. Let me show it to you from the side. Before and after comparison, here's what the Ranger looks like before, and it looks much better after. Thanks again to 𝕗𝖊𝖓 for sponsoring the video. If you're interested in one of these, check out the link in the pinned comment in the description. Back to the video. Now, even though I'm fairly sure that this transmission oil pan is empty, I'm gonna put 2 bolts, just start 2 bolts in there. That way when I knock the pan loose, if it comes falling down, oil doesn't splash everywhere. Alright, so that one was pretty easy, especially because we didn't have to drain it. Filling it up is going to be super tough. I'll talk about that in a second. But this gasket was actually just a pre-made gasket. I don't have to use former gasket or anything like that, so this one's going to be quick. The other oil pan, I'm going to have to use former gasket. Alright, just getting all those bolts started by hand, everything lined up perfectly. Then we'll just get them tightened down in a normal star pattern, whatever. You just don't want to torque anything weird. Alright, now let's move on to the engine oil pan and the 1 million little screws holding this on. They're actually little torque screws, and I believe there were only 22. I think I counted one of those times. It might be a few numbers off, but it was a ton just for that little oil pan, so a few minutes of that. Alright, I finally got all those screws out. I'm just going to use a little flat scraper here to try and pry that pan off. That's not going to work out, and I should have put some screws back in before I continued, if you know what I mean. Alright, well, I just grabbed a different screwdriver and that pried down super quick right off of there. I just fell straight down, which was nice because there's still some oil in it. So the fact that it fell straight down, I didn't really splash. Worked out perfect. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and get the new one on. Looks really clean though. Now, this is honestly one of my most favorite things to do with the job, is to apply some former gasket, some RTV silicone, just on a new oil pan or whatever. It's really satisfying, so I get to do that for a minute, my favorite thing, and then we'll put this oil pan on. Admittedly, it's a lot sketchier or a lot more stressful to put an oil pan with former gasket on, because if you don't get it in the right place, you're going to smear it all over. So just line that up carefully and get some screws started. That lined up well, so the gasket's not a worry. I've just got to put 22 screws back in, so we'll be back in half an hour. Here's the clean fluid siphon I use to put transmission fluid in. In this Volkswagen, you have to put the transmission fluid in from the bottom as a little fill spout, so that goes in before the drain plug. Just doing that about 40 times, man, probably an hour long to fill this transmission up with fluid. It just took a ton. But that's full, the engine's full, so this thing's ready to go. It's ready to run. The battery's dead, so I've been charging that the whole time I've been here on a charger, and this should start up and get going. After months of not being able to drive this car, I was finally able to get it back on the road for the owner. They were super happy. She told me thank you a million times and was just super excited to have the car back. I was able to do it for a great price, way cheaper than all the shops around. If you like what I do, subscribe to let me know, or leave a positive comment down below and give this video a thumbs up. If you want to help out, you can donate at the links in the description, buy me a cold drink, or help me take my wife to dinner, and I'll see you on the next episode of Roadside Rescue. That's a job well done.